Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi everyone. Let's wait for Daniel.
Okay, sounds good.
Ellen, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
No
Can you hear me?
complaints.
All right.
I was hoping Heather could come on.
What? You didn't invite her?
No, I figured she'd probably invite herself. You know, she's a
Right.
professional.
Well, and we should be consulting her.
At George's party, I spoke with her for probably about an hour. She's a really nice person. Actually, it's funny. She gets fired up when she's sending emails, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I think she has a temper.
She's got something. She's got something going on.
It's unusual in that profession too. You know, landscape architects are, design people. They got kind of a nice job.
She's new at it. She was taking the test this summer. I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
So
yeah, she takes it about a month. Her test is about a month from now.
Oh, okay.
No, still no reason to be nasty.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to jump off for a second. I've got a call here from one of the bricklayers. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Where is Danielle?
I'm ringing her. I think she's here.
Oh,
Okay. She's coming on now.
cool.
I didn't want to hold up that one unapproved bill, but it seemed like we might want to rein in the approval of overtime unless we can come up with a protocol for it. It looked like they just, we had a call. We had to make a call to a locksmith. So is that an opportunity to make overtime anytime you want to make a phone call on a Saturday, or?
No, that's a result of calling on off hours. It's part of their contract.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did somebody call them? I mean, did someone call them on a Saturday to complain?
I believe so. I think it was Faith's chimney banging.
Oh.
No, this is the one with there's a locksmith that was called, Granite Locksmith was called, and I think it was just about a keypad. And the other one was CMAC, which Helen has made comments about the fact that we were going to have Wilson Property Group send that back to CMAC. So that approval's been waiting for a long time. That's the only reason I address it now.
Yeah, I think it was approved, as I recall.
It was approved by you and denied by George. And then George just weighed in. He thought because the word granite was in Granite Locksmith, he put a comment about the granite post with the lock on the back of the property. So there's been a series of not so well handled comments added in there, and it's not getting approved. There's only one approval in there.
Is Nancy not making it?
She didn't say. I don't know.
Okay.
If she's at work. If she's at work, she might have trouble traveling to and from today.
Just rain.
Why, is the weather bad?
Yeah, it's raining.
Oh. We're having a great day out here, but it's windy.
Okie doke. Danielle, you're on. or not.
Oh,
Danielle?
got to unmute.
She's on mute.
Of course. I just want to start this meeting by letting the board know I do have a hard stop at 5:45. I have another annual meeting at 6 today, fortunately, unfortunately. So hopefully we can hit most of these items. If the board needs someone to take minutes, I can have Amen take the minutes and send them over to Nancy tomorrow.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Please.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Amen, if you could take minutes for this meeting, I'll give you details on the financials. I don't think Nancy goes too into details on those, but
No.
I'll give you some more info on that if you miss anything.
Sure.
So we're going to start. It's 4:34. We're calling the meeting to order. Can we make a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes?
Well, I had a couple of questions, so I think we need maybe wait for Nancy. Or I can just say what they are. So in the regular meeting, the lighting price turns out to be $5,710, which we approved the next day via email because there was a sale ending on the lanterns, and so we wanted to get that done. So I just asked if she would add, and I sent her a sentence, and I didn't hear back. And then on the driveway minutes, I was wondering if we could include that the U.S. pavement proposal included stump removal in 5 to 6 parking spaces because the others did not. So I just wanted to add those 2 things, so I wouldn't be approving the minutes at this point.
Okay. Paving and parking spots. All right, is the rest of the board abstaining from approval at this time and until
Yes.
those? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Abstaining. All right. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review the February financials. I did send them out late last Friday. But as of February 28th, there was 50.7K in your operating, 149.6K in your reserves, and 82.6K in your CD as reported. I do know that the bookkeeper has questions on this, which I'll send to Helen and Steve. She just wants to know where the interest is coming from and hopes to get an actual statement rather than a screenshot. I do know that the board is working on access, so
Well,
again,
I thought Dan was handling that because I'm not there to.
Yeah, the
It wouldn't-
CDs, Rockland Trust doesn't provide statements on CDs.
okay. But they should send you like a monthly interest.
I can see it by going into the website for the business accounts.
Yeah, I've been doing that and just taking a screenshot because that's the best I could find to do.
That's all they have for you if you have a CD with them, according to the assistant manager there.
Okay, so there's no monthly notices on the interests being collected?
Nothing.
We haven't received it.
Okay.
I did get something in the mail from them, and I can't recall now exactly what was in it, but it wasn't much of anything, and I'm pretty sure it didn't include updated amounts. I'll take a look at that again, and I'll get back to you if it's anything that's worth passing along. But when I opened it, I determined at that time that there was not much value to it.
Okay. All right, I'll connect with you offline just to make sure that she has everything she needs. Okay, there was a prepayment of condo fees for 6.8K, and your calculated retained earnings are at a negative 4.8K.
And so
Any
why did
question?
I didn't know why did that happen? the -4.
Oh, we're going to get into detail soon.
Oh, okay.
Moving on to your annual budget comparative. Let me just pull that up. So here's your variance. Hold on, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. So it's mainly due to snow removal. That was a big variance, and it's a big variance for a lot of properties that we manage at this time. I just think we all underestimated the amount of snow and the amount of billing that we'd get this season. So it's definitely something to keep in mind for next year. And I believe I mentioned this at the last meeting that these financials would look pretty skewed in terms of your year-to-date actual due to that. Any questions? Sorry, Steve, I heard
I just
you.
have a question on things like the gutter. That was a 2024 bill for 3,000, and that's attributed to the 25 budget. And then there are some other things I didn't know. The pool was only $18, but that was last year's bill. And I didn't know in the maintenance repair and the material repair, if any of those were actually 2024. So is there a point when you, I don't know if the term is reconcile, but you put those bills in 24 and then readjust the budget numbers? Because we're not seeing an accurate spending for 25.
Yes, that's actually part of why we switched over to accrual. So I'm going to have Kathleen do a deep look. I was looking at your financials before the meeting and I couldn't remember. I didn't write it down on my notes what needed to be updated, but I wrote those down and we'll just do like a general audit of your account and we'll have it reflected for the March financials.
Danielle, could you just go over for everyone's edification the changes from the cash basis accounting to the accrual and what's changed?
Yeah, sure. So previously we were reporting bills as they were paid, which is the cash basis for accounting. And now we're doing accrual-based accounting, which means that we pay the bills when they're earned. So whenever the invoice comes in, whatever the posting date or the due date for that invoice is, that's when the invoices are shown on the ledger. So currently, as Helen stated, that $3,000 gutter invoice, that was for 2024, and it's being shown on the 2025 financials, which it's skewing your year-to-date actual number. So any expenses from 2024 should be listed in 2024, but if you guys were still on the cash basis, this would be okay. But again, accrual accounting is a more accurate way of showing things.
Right. That sounds much better. Thank you.
Okay.
So there was, I think, a question that that Helen had regarding the reserve funding.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know when to bring that up.
yeah, I think originally we were at 3,200, and then and correct me if I'm wrong, Danielle, we had a discussion of paying what was available, which was roughly 2,400, and then if we had the extra cash flow, we would fund it up to the 3,200. Is that what you recall, Danielle?
Not to my, no.
Okay.
I
So
don't.
then what?
I did I recall that for last year,
right?
but that's not what's in the budget for this year. So the budget has the $33,212.85, and we're going to, I think at this point, we need to put everything we can in the reserve fund to pay the driveway bill.
Well, we have, yeah. I mean,
So 38,554 is the annual contribution. If it's supposed to be less than that, let me
Well,
know.
the budget, yeah, the budget, you know, that we got
like-
at the meeting says $3,212.85
$3,000.
monthly.
And 88 cents. Okay. So let's see. You know what? That's also something that I caught, but I didn't want to refrain posting your minutes. Kathleen was on vacation last week, but I did pick up on that as well. We're actually transferring less than what was budgeted for. So
Right,
I'm going to
Right.
have her make an adjusting entry.
okay. And
And
will
make
she
sure that-
adjust back for January and February? Because those were low too.
Yes, she will.
Okay. And then I only have one more question on the Morse check for 1,000. Has that been returned? Because it's still showing up as something paid in this budget.
Yes, you'll see that in your March financials. They
Okay.
did return it. And yeah, we put it under, I believe, general maintenance.
Perfect, thank you.
Hi,
Okay.
everybody. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss?
we can't tell you now.
Eamon's taking,
Welcome.
so while you're
Eamon's taking what?
minutes.
He took over your job.
Okay, so, did you do a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
No,
We did. Well, we
Okay.
did, but we didn't approve them.
yeah, I had questions on both minutes.
Can you go over that with me?
Yeah,
Let's
we're
go.
waiting for you.
Let's do it later because
Yes.
let's just keep going through the agenda. Then if we have time, we can do it.
Okay, well, let's try to make time.
Well, we're just trying, Danielle has a deadline,
Hard stop.
and so we can do the minutes afterwards. I don't think Danielle has to be there.
As long as we can stay on.
I believe you can. Any other questions on the expenses before we move on?
No.
Okay. All right, moving on to your age receivable. I believe this is supposed to be a credit, right, Dan? That we are sending back to you in a check or?
You've already sent it and I've already cashed it. And I've already
Okay.
spent it too.
All
Okay,
in one place?
so I'll double check and make sure, there's nothing missing on our end. I know that you've never paid late, so.
Yeah, I'm on the automatic withdrawal thing, so
Yeah, we probably gave you a credit
you
and
did,
may
you
have
did, yeah.
cut that check as well. So we'll have to do some balancing on our end.
Yeah, it was difficult to determine whether the credit in the system would be taken away from the monthly condo fee by Appfolio or not.
Yeah, that's
So you guys-
probably what happened.
Yeah, you guys sent a check to shorten the process.
Okay. All right, that's on my list. Next is your age payable detail. We have since paid these vendors except for Heinz Feet. Again, if there's any questions or concerns, I can answer on that, or Nydia can answer on that. Just let me know.
Okay, well, I guess on the Heinz Feet, has that been sent back to CMAC to see if they would pay it? That was what the holdup on paying that emergency call.
Yeah, so that was deducted from their bill, and I resent out the bill minus that 187, and CMAC was paid. So we're just waiting to get paid now.
Well, why would we pay you if CMAC is paying that?
CMAC credited 187
Oh, okay,
on their
All right.
bill to you.
all right, okay. So
Tough
I have-
crowd.
Yeah. Okay, so then we can go ahead and approve that.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Eamon, do you have a chance to pull up the work orders and kind of just brief?
Yeah. Just give me a moment to share my screen.
Just so you know, I'm finding this start time difficult. I didn't know it was going to be so difficult for me, but I'm just having trouble with it, getting here on time.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So these are the current open work orders, and I will give you update for each one.
Can you zoom in on it by any chance?
Yeah, if you pull the work order report,
How about this?
That's
Is it
better.
zooming
Thank
up?
you. Yes.
Okay. So let's start with 14177. This one is about the glitch on his garage door. So we have 3 work orders for garage issues. One for 177. We have 13451 and 13489. These issues are addressed today. We tried to get Mortland doors before, but they're not responding to my request. So I reached out to Overhead Garage Doors, and they scheduled it today. So I don't have any update yet from them if it's already been done, but I will check with them within today. Then the next one is estimate to provide to replicate the fence on Dreamworld. I spoke to Ben. He said that he cannot do to replicate the sign. He what he can do is just do the structure on the bottom. But for the signage itself, it needs to be done by a professional.
Yeah, we don't want the signage, it's just strictly the fence underneath.
Just the fence.
And then
underneath.
there's a little oval on a stake on the other side of the driveway, and you would take that off the stake and put it in the center of that fence. But it's only the fence. Dreamworld stays where it is.
Okay,
The sign is there.
I will tell that to Ben. I think that's
Okay.
that's the one that he can do, the bottom part.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we have here 13986. So this
That guy
one,
again.
this one is a previous work related to 11532. And the reason it was canceled before, it was canceled by Bruce Levi. And and it was a leak from the gutter going to the ceiling of the front porch. So what I did here is I reached out to Ben. He said this needs to be done by a professional gutter vendor. So what I did is I reached out to the vendor he referred, which is Mox Gutter, and they haven't given me any schedule yet. But I already spoke with Tracy this morning about that. So possibly they will schedule it this week or the next week. For this one needs to be they need to be the gutters needs to be repaired. Ben said that it's up and down, like it need more work. So I will update you on that one once they scheduled the repairs for that. The next one is 13014-2. This is the completement of the painting of shingles.
Hey, Amon, can I just jump in real quick? Just as a general rule, when there's an issue to a particular that's affecting a unit versus a common area, it would be helpful if someone reached out to them to let them know the status. So if we're waiting, if we're waiting on shingles or waiting on X, Y, or Z, at least the unit owners know why there's a delay.
Sure. We will do that. I will inform everything to each work order or the status after the meeting. And for the painting of the shingles, we have 134014, 13014, and 122562. Ben said that this will be scheduled after the rain stops. They cannot do it right now.
Okay.
So the next one is 13718. This is the deck replacement, and the board wants it on hold. So there's no update yet here. And then
Yeah, I did speak to Ben on that one, and he wants the board to know that we can come out and take a look at the decks. We just unfortunately can't do individual appointments with the springtime, but we can allot a certain time frame, a certain day that could work for most unit owners, and see if we can make that work for you all.
Why is that request under work orders? Didn't she, is this unit 5? Wait, unit 23? I'm sorry, which unit is this?
No, that's for all units that submitted a deck request.
Oh, that's submitted under work orders?
Yeah, so Ben needs work orders for us to schedule him on site.
Okay. So he hasn't come out yet to take a look at them? Because I think Steve might want to say something about that. Is that right?
So I think we stopped the program before because we had issues regarding the cost of reviewing the decks. Is that what you're referring to, Helen?
Me.
Nancy.
Yes,
I'm sorry, Nancy.
Yes, like the cost
So,
estimate?
yeah, so if Ben can come out and give us an idea of all 5, is there 5 right now?
3.
There's only 3?
I think it's,
There were
it's only
3, unless anybody else added themselves.
So, I mean, Ben should be able to give us an idea. I mean, whatever that costs us, $100 or something, that would be worth it.
No, it's completely free. We just
Okay.
we can't do individual appointments with the
Right.
springtime and the work order queue that we have right now, but we can get out and take a look at the units. We can set a time frame and date, and if the unit owners are available, we can meet with them, but if not, we can just proceed with providing the estimates.
Yeah, just send them an email. We're coming out this day. If you're around, great. If you're not, then leave us any comments or thoughts you have.
That's a good idea. I know I have
Okay.
some comments on my application, so I don't know if he will have copies of the applications in hand or not.
I will make sure of that.
Okay,
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. This is work order 13016. This is regarding a work order on the basement leaks from Storm. When I spoke to Ben, he said it's still scheduled on April 16 because this involves digging the ground, and the ground is still wet, and he needs it to be
Eh.
dry.
and has he verified that there is in fact a leak there?
He hasn't double checked it yet, but
Okay,
I will inform him if he needs to recheck if there's still leaks coming from the outside going to the basement. So
Yeah.
the last one, 12347, this involves the railroad tiles. Actually, I already posted the proposal for that, the new proposal.
Right,
On the,
so
Yeah.
What do you
on the
mean?
new proposal, is that without, we
What-
just
I'm-
got
I'm-
it in email. We got an
I'm-
email about it.
Is that what you mean? When you say you posted it, do you mean you sent us an email with a quote?
yeah, it's not an email actually. It's on the system for the approvals.
And then we were notified to take a look at it.
Let me
Yes.
check. I think
Okay.
you're
So,
once we
so on
receive
this
approval-
one, yeah, this one does not have railroad ties in it. That seemed to be cement and wire and stuff. So I couldn't figure out. So that seemed to be different from the railroad ties. And I couldn't remember what the amount was for the railroad ties because this one was over $3,000.
Yeah. Well, I
And-
think the board requested galvanized steel. And
Well, we just asked it for an estimate to see which was cheaper.
okay.
And maybe this is, so I don't know, do you have the railroad tie estimate on hand also so we can compare them?
Let me try to look for
Okay,
the
thanks.
estimate. Stop carrying first.
are most of the window wells where we have those metal grates, are they primarily the same size? Because I've noticed a couple of the plastic covers are busted from the snow.
Yeah, no, this is in front of the mansion
Right,
and
those
it's
are,
big and it's different, but the rest of them, I mean, I just went to Ace Hardware and got new covers, but that
okay,
has been something that's, people can put in a work order for a new one. And
I
it's a
noticed
standard.
they usually came around once a year and replaced them all anyways, because they usually do break almost without fail.
well, Danielle, could we add that to the maintenance request when people go around or when they come to the property to look at that?
Yes.
And we should just replace them and maybe get better ones if they break so easily.
I don't think you can.
They
I mean,
they
yes,
don't have,
you can
heavier-
get grades of heavier ones, yeah.
It's not big money anyway, is it?
No, it's like $18 or something.
Yeah. I think we talked about this, having been do an assessment of how many new units needed new ones.
Let me see my
Okay.
screen, everyone.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is the previous proposal.
all right.
like
With the
that one better.
landscape ties. Yeah, that one is just cheaper. I would vote for that one.
Do you want me to propose another approval?
So did we think about getting a quote from an outside vendor? I see that both of these quotes are from Heinz Feet.
No, we hadn't done that.
Do you want a code for another vendor? That would be, there will be
I-
a charge
You know, I-
for asking estimate.
There's a charge for that?
Who's charging us?
So that's a billable expense anytime we go out to get outside estimates from outside vendors. Heinz Feet does not charge their internal clients to provide estimates, but if we have to work with outside vendors and, you know, start communicating with them and possibly meeting them on site, that is billable.
Did you do that for the landscaping?
No, that's part of your your contract.
Danielle, is this different from Wilson Group? I don't remember ever being charged for outside quotes from Wilson Group.
Yeah, and we actually got emails from Helen when Wilson Group was in place. Bill was billing for everything. Whereas I